you wear a mask, is it uncomfortable, ill-fitting, or hard to keep on? Maybe it's a professional mask, one you only wear at work, like a radio voice or a polite smile. Maybe it's a social mask, the one you put on for parties and social media, like a pair of uncomfortable heels or a tight pair of pants. Or maybe it's a permanent mask, one that you've worn so long it's left indents. Maybe you don't even realise you had it on, or taking it off was never an option. Is your mask making life difficult? Are you lonely behind it? If your mask is no longer working for you, or you've been forced out of it and you're struggling to cope, this one's for you. Hi, I'm Kylie, a retired paramedic, and this is Everyday Ambo, where I share the real-life lessons from the job. Not the easy stuff like how to slap on a bandage or insert a cannula. I'm talking about the tough stuff, the stuff we struggle to wrap our minds around, like our own inadequacies and our vulnerabilities. It's these lessons that can hit the hardest, and some even get knocked down. This is lesson number 15, taking off the mask. We all wear masks. In fact, some of us wear whole costumes. We put the work ones on as we head out to the office, and we take them off again when we return home each day. It can be in the form of a uniform, but it goes deeper than that. It's a way of being and behaving in our work environment that we believe is appropriate and acceptable, and may even keep us alive. We know the rules and we know the consequences if we don't behave, so we wear the mask. But here's the thing. Masks and costumes, if not flexible, can become tight and rigid. We can outgrow them, and they can get damaged and broken, and they can even stop functioning altogether. When a mask stops doing its job, we are left exposed, and that feels very vulnerable. As a paramedic, we are issued a uniform, and we wear a mask. It's a superhero costume that I've discussed before. It comes with rules and expectations about how we present ourselves, and there are consequences for non-compliance. Some paramedics wear the costume well. Boots polished, nails neat, short back and sides like clockwork. Others not so much. Others find it difficult to stay within the boundaries. But here's the funny part. Some paramedics barely take their uniforms off. Always on call, like a coiled spring. They are always ready to respond. And then there's the opposite. Never on time, untucked, boots a mess, always slight look of surprise and confusion on their face, like it was a shock that a phone rang and someone asked them to work. Yet, much of the time, both characters can pull it together and perform when they need to, when the pressure's on. Which raises the question, why do they do it differently? The human brain is incredibly adaptive. Not only does it react to the environment, it learns, and it changes to meet the environmental expectations, so that it's ready and can meet the demands the next time. Makes sense, really. If there is always a wild animal at the front door, you don't want to be surprised every time we exit. That's hard work. Our brain, our mind, and our body prepare us, so we armour up. The ambulance service around the world has originated through the requirements of war. Those working in the job were military trained, and the rules rigid, trained for survival. The consequences of not following the rules were harsh, and therefore those enforcing the rules were just as harsh. Think about it. A bomb has hit, and half your army is dead and dying, and they need you to do your job. Are your boots on? And if they're off, how quickly can you get them on? Can you find both boots? Are you still looking for them well after the war has raged? Welcome to your capacity to do the job. If you can't find your boots when you need them, you need to leave them on your feet so you're ready. Some people can get ready quickly. Some need to stay ready. And others, they were never going to be ready. So what happens when you never take off your costume? They become a part of you, an extension of your body. Except they're not. Not really. You just believe they are because they're always there. This is only something we begin to notice when we start to change, and the costume, the mask, or the uniform doesn't change with us. We all change and grow. No matter how much we try to prevent change from occurring, it happens. We age. We learn. The external elements of the environment age and adapt. We either go with the flow or we resist it. When we go with the flow, it's a natural progression and it feels right. When we resist it, it becomes increasingly uncomfortable until we can't tolerate the discomfort anymore. And then, change is forced upon us. And here's the thing. Forced change is traumatic and it's messy. It happens when we refuse to listen to the warning signs or to make the appropriate adjustments. Why don't we? Because we were distracted, busy, ignorant, or just plain stubborn. Believing we are special, different, important, right, or a superhero with superhero powers and strengths, this can be the reason we don't listen, and it makes us vulnerable. Vulnerable to what, you might ask? If you don't hear the warning signs that your mask is failing or threatening to break completely, you won't be prepared for what it exposes of you. If you don't know who you are under your mask, if you know and you don't like that part of yourself so you've kept it hidden, you will get a big surprise when you lose your mask. It might also surprise those around you because they might never have met you, even though they've known you for years. When you suddenly can't hide, you are exposed. Those around you feel betrayed by the lies they perceive that you've been telling, and they feel vulnerable and exposed as well. And most surprising, when your mask fails, you might learn things about yourself that you never knew existed. I learnt that I have ADHD, and I spent 48 years containing it by masking the behaviours. Trauma broke my capacity to maintain my mask, and it forced me to address what was exposed. So, do you know how to take your mask on and off? Do you know what's hidden behind it, or how it feels when it's on display? Could you cope with your own vulnerabilities? How about how it's going to feel to those closest to you when they feel betrayed? If the answer is yes, then why do you need the mask? If the answer is no, why risk it? What do you think? Are you brave enough to live without your own masks? Leave a comment below and tell me about a time when you dropped your mask for a moment. How did it feel? We all wear masks. We don't always know what they hide, but sometimes we do, so we make sure to keep the mask in place. But what if you lose that capacity? I've spent my whole life so far constructing masks, costumes and behaviours to keep everybody at a distance so that my bad behaviour wouldn't be discovered. And then it was. Turns out it wasn't bad after all, and perfectly treatable. So now I don't need to be alone or ashamed. Have a think about that, and I'll see you in the next lesson.